Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how you can create an n8n automation that sends you specific metrics about your Shopify store every day at a certain time. So here's the email I received. So it shows the total orders. Yes, I received yesterday, revenue, AOV, refund rate, new customers, shipping time, and unfulfilled orders. And what's more interesting is that it compares the value with the same metric in the on the same day in the last week. For example, let's say yesterday was Monday, and this store received 312 orders. It is comparing this data with the same metric, the same orders this store received on the last Monday, and it's showing the percentage change. If it is higher, it shows in green. If it's lower, it shows in red, and if it is same, it shows in gray. Okay, so let's begin. So we made this automation or workflow for a Shopify store owner in Australia, and you can see that it's running on my local host. It's not running on the n8n server we set up for them. And this part, what you are seeing, is just 20% of what we built for them. So let's begin. Okay. So I'm going to show you each node one by one. And in some nodes, you may see that the data is grayed out because it's running on my local host. And I don't have this ngrok setup, so API won't be working. But I downloaded this workflow to my local desktop only to make this video. So it runs every day around 8 a.m. You can change it. It schedules at 8 a.m. every single day. And then we are defining some config here. So whenever you code, you write some variables or constant, right? So I'm writing all the constant here. Shopify store domain should be your domain, whatever store domain is. Then access token is your API. You write the API here. And the recipient email, which is your owner or admin or a store manager email. And the sender email is the email ID from which this specific email will be sent. Okay. Then daily rev target is what is the revenue target for this store. I wrote as $10,000. And this on-time SLARs, what should be the average on-time SLARs for your fulfillment? Okay. And time zone offset minutes is basically minutes that shows your time zone. For example, your time zone is, let's say, minus 10 hours UTC. Then you write minus 600, which is basically 60 into 10. Okay. If you live in Australia, it's, let's say, 10 hours plus 10 hours UTC. Then you simply write 600. Okay. I'm not saving it. Then the third node is function. We wrote a JavaScript code which basically calculates a few things. What was the yesterday date? What was yesterday's end date? What was the last week start date? What was the last week end date? And what was the last week? And basically what was yesterday date? Okay, we are using JavaScript code. I guess you already know how to write a JavaScript code. If you don't know, you can use ChatGPT to write a basic code. This code is a very basic one. And then we are using HTTP, Shopify API. You might be wondering that why I'm not using this Shopify node, right? I can use this node to get all the data. But the problem is that the workflow will be very much longer, and I would have needed to add so many nodes, which won't make this workflow optimized for this business purpose. Because whenever an n8n nodes run, it consumes CPU, and every time a CPU is consumed, they charge you, whether you host it in your Railway or Amazon SES or anywhere, or any Amazon EC2 or GCP, they charge you. That's why. So the goal was to make this workflow as cost efficient as possible. Okay. And if you really want to make it as much cost efficient as possible, then simply write this code in Python. It will cost a fraction. Okay. Then again, we are using this code to summarize everything like orders received, on-time SLA, order count, refunds. It is only for yesterday date. Okay. So we are basically in this node, we are capturing all the data from orders, from the orders API of Shopify. And here we are calculating every single thing that I'm shown in this metric, except for this one from the yesterday date. Okay. And then we are merging all this thing using merge node. Okay. So let's move to the second part. And again, we are using this Shopify API, but here we are going to calculate every single thing for the last week. LW means last week. So as you said, we are comparing this data from the yesterday's data from the day on the same day of the last week. So for this, we need to fetch all the data from the last week also. So this node is coded in the same way like this node, but except for the date, it is fetching the date for the last for the day on the last week. And again, we are merging this data with the merge data of this part. Why? Because we would need every single thing in the last final email that will be building. Okay. Now here comes the third part. Again, we are fetching the orders, but it is basically total orders in the last 7 days. Here we want to calculate the average number of orders. So for this example, in this metric, I'm showing you order received yesterday versus the order received on the same day last week. But in this, for this total purpose, I removed a specific functionality. So when we made this automation for this Shopify store, we also showed one thing. We wrote one more metric, which is the average orders in the last 7 days. For example, some order received, this store received, let's say 300 orders on Tuesday, 350 on Wednesday, 400 on Thursday, 250 on Friday. Okay, and it average it sends in, or it creates an average of all the orders, number of orders received in the last 7 days, and shows that also. And again, we are using the same code here, and we are merging it. Okay. Now, in this part, we are going to calculate the unfulfilled orders to show the metric here. And again, we're using the Shopify API. Okay. And you might be wondering why I'm writing this API like this. What is the JSON Shopify store domain? So it is defined in the constant in the set config, Shopify store domain, which is here. Okay. So basically we're using constant every time, so that we can, once we change the constant, it changes from the entire workflow. We don't need to change every single node. Okay. And here we are calculating the unfulfilled orders in the last 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours, and unfulfilled orders for more than 48 hours. Okay. And we have merged every single thing using this merge. And then we're using JavaScript to create an HTML that that looks like this, and it is ready to be sent by email. And on the very last node, we are using SMTP node to send this email. So this from email and this to email, and the subject is coming from this set config. So here we mentioned the from email, recipient email. Here we send the sender email, and we're using this data from here. Okay, and the subject is daily metrics JSON Y date, and this JSON Y date is again configured 1 minute in this function date. You can see it is configured here. So Y date means yesterday date. Okay, and then we are sending this as HTML. Okay, I think I made a mistake here. I need to write this data, or this output of this data here. So it's a very simple thing. You just write the HTML and you write a JSON output of the last node. And whenever you send, you just execute this workflow, and you should receive an email like this. Okay. That's all, guys. Thank you. So you also, if you own a Shopify store and want us to build this metric for you, you can simply contact via my email ID that is present in the description. Okay. And if you're facing any issue while implementing this, you can again contact us via this to me via my email ID present in the description. Thank you guys. I'll be making more videos on Shopify automation using n8n. So subscribe this channel.